Fresh off an 89-64 win over Marquette on Saturday, the women's basketball team plays at Florida on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Badgers then play at Green Bay on Saturday at 7 p.m. Head coach Bobbie Kelsey is here. We'll have some opening comments and take questions.
It's been a crazy week for us. The last time I was in here, we had a loss, and we weren't feeling very good about ourselves, and we had a different kind of loss in the Miami game. Obviously, we did not win that game, but we also lost our leading scorer and top rebounder in Michaela Johnson to an ACL. So quite devastated by that. The kids are very, very sad for her. But we showed some resilience and some toughness by coming out and playing Marquette and taking care of business in that game. We will definitely miss Michaela. She's a big part of what we do. We depend on her. Was playing great. So this injury, obviously, we can't bubble wrap them. I always say that. But, again, her loss is we're going to feel a little bit, but I think the kids are encouraged by the fact that we did come out against Marquette and not just squeak out a win, but we really had a definitive win and took care of some of the problems that we were seeing in our other games. So we're very happy about that, and we just need to be consistent and keep that going. Not all at once.
Coach, you mentioned how the kids were down for Michaela's sake, but just general attitude with the losses and then having your leading scorer to go down. How is the attitude from a positivity standpoint right now?
The kids are encouraged. We ran our offense very well in the Marquette game. We didn't run it very well in the previous couple of games, but we were going against some really tough, quick competition that we don't normally see. And when you have some guards out there that's trying to do a lot and handle the ball, and those games are going to help us. We don't like to lose them, but they really did help us to figure out how to take care of the ball a little bit better and really work together, 5 people working together as opposed to one trying to do it by themselves. So you never want anybody to get hurt, but it's an opportunity for some other folks to get some more playing time. We have to make up her points and rebounds somewhere. So it's going to be a committee of folks. It's not going to be one person then all of a sudden averaging 17 points. It usually does not work that way. So, but we're encouraged, and the kids are very positive. They cried and whatnot. We all shedded a tear, but because I've had 2 ACLs, I know what that's like. But the schedule is still the schedule, and you have to play your games and win them. And I told them she would want us to play hard and to go out there and prove that we're not a one-person team. And I think we showed that on Saturday.
Bobbie, do you plan to be even more up-tempo now without Michaela? Do you have to be?
Nothing would change from that aspect. Mick ran the floor pretty well, but Milena runs it pretty well. Cassie runs it pretty well. We just need everybody busting out of there. If we get the rebound, anybody can bring it because the offense is such that we don't have to have it in Dakota's hands. She's learning how to play without the ball. She loves to have it, and we love her to have it. But when you don't have it, get moving. And that's where you're going to get the drives and the open paint to get in there. But when you get in there, you can't charge, and we've had a couple of charges there. But we want to run no matter who's out there. We're going to run.
Another question, too. The injury to Michaela, Cassie last year, since you've been here, you've had a list of injuries. I mean, do you think about, if it weren't for bad luck, you'd have none at all?
Well, sometimes. I have to laugh to keep from crying sometimes with these injuries. But, again, it's out of my control. It's like any other sport. I mean, all coaches can say you lose somebody to a freak. I mean, nobody hit Mick. She jump stopped. Kids jump stop a million times in their career and nothing ever happens. But unfortunately for her, it just was her ACL. She didn't even think it was her ACL, and she's had 2. So you kind of know what it feels like when you have one. We were all optimistic that it wasn't, but it was a full tear of her graft. So, but it's just an opportunity. It's faith building time, I call it. You got to have faith and believe that you can still accomplish your goals, no matter who's suited up. So I just asked the trainer who can play. I just focus on who can play and not who can't play, because it gets you down. And you can become like, oh, can we do this? And I'm saying, yes, we have enough in the room to get it done. But we have to play a certain way to do that. But we still want to run. We still want to take good quality shots. I always tell the kids, if we're not getting a quality possession every time, then we got to look at that. So it doesn't mean you make every shot, but you get a good one, and you get the best one you can. And that's what we've been concentrating on. And that's why I think we could have 22 assists and shoot 50-some% from the field and not jack up 27 threes and that kind of stuff.
You mentioned the team's reaction to her injury, but how's Michaela doing with it? And you mentioned also that you've been through it before with ACLs. What did you tell her at that moment to try to deal with this?
Well, we both had two. This is her third. I didn't play long enough to get another one, so I stopped. But some of it is how your body reacts to it. You know, you just never know. You hope you don't tear it again, but it could happen. But I think once she cried and got her, you know, was on her mom's shoulder and they got the emotion out about it, then it's like anything. You grieve for your knee, but you can't do anything about it. So once you grieve, you're maybe a little angry at first. You cry, and then you say, okay, when's my surgery? And when can I get it repaired? So I think she's in that repair process now. It's kind of accepting that it's happened. There's nothing you can do about it. Let's move on to the solution. And we were all down about it. I mean, I didn't need to tell her anything because she's had two and I've had two as well. So we kind of in the same boat with that. But she's optimistic that she can return. We're going to look at things as far as what her options are to return. She wants to return, and we want her to. So we'll see at the end of the season if that's a possibility.
Siblings don't like to be compared to one another, but can Milena do and maybe pick up where Michaela left off as far as scoring and rebounding?
I think she can. Milena has not really touched her potential. And the more she plays, the more confident she is. She's a strong kid. She's long. You saw her ability to block shots. With her and Cassie, I mean, we had 13 blocks. I don't think I've been at some big schools. I've never had a game where kids had, I mean, you have 13 blocks. We didn't plan to do that. They just have good timing. They don't jump out of their stance and jump to her. I mean, Jackie had a couple. Cassie had 5. Milena had 3. So as far as the scoring, they got to do it by committee. But Milena can do more out there. She doesn't know she can do it. She wasn't counted on in high school all that much, even though she's 6'5" and long. I don't know what the strategy in high school, but she wasn't utilized, in my opinion, the way she can be. So we're going to get her in positions where she can just turn and make a post move. She needs to rebound a little bit better. She's capable. And once she gets, it's almost like going off the high dive. You do it once, okay, I can do it again. Okay, I can do it again. So that's kind of for Milena. She just needs that confidence. And unfortunately for her sister, her being out, it gives Milena that opportunity to come in and really show what she can do. It's time. It's sophomore year, so it's time to come out of that shell. And I think she defers sometimes when she needs to be aggressive and really ask for the ball.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Bobbie.